Senator Sheehy.
Thank you, Chairman. Gentlemen, number of different departments here, so I want to ask one of each, given that each of you have focus areas that are critical to the next 20 years of our defense policy. Mr. Lane, I'll just go down the table. The Air Force is plagued with weapons programs, platform programs that are decades over schedule, billions of dollars over budget. We can't even get a new Air Force One built inside of a decade. How are we going to reform our Air Force acquisition pipeline to ensure that we are creating quantity? Quality is great, exquisite weapons systems are great, but when they show up 30 years from now, we only make 5 of them, and we need 1,000 of them, that's not going to cut it. As we're seeing in Ukraine right now, quantity matters, speed matters, and duration is key. How are you going to help reform the legal basis for acquisition systems so we don't have to be stuck in 10, 20, 30-year contractual relationships with platforms that are obsolete by the time they hit the battlefield? How are we going to fix that, and how are we going to fix it fast?
Senator, this is a concern of mine and will be a top priority. We've got the most impressive industrial base in the world. We need to be taking advantage of it. We need to be getting equipment quickly. I remember on active duty having trailers full of equipment, some of which we didn't use and didn't need, and then other equipment we needed not arriving in time. So that will be a priority of mine, Senator. It's looking at what's currently on the books and seeing how we could take advantage of statutory provisions and regulations to get things quickly. And I also know this committee has been working very hard on improving our acquisition system. I look forward to some of those provisions potentially being passed and then working with the committee to think of more ideas.
Thank you. It's not an evolutionary approach. It's got to be revolutionary. From PEOs, PMOs, the old system's got to get scrapped. It's got to happen fast, and you're going to have about 3 years to do it. So let's get after it. Mr. No, Indo-PACOM, obviously that's going to be the front line of our next potential great power conflict. As you said, we hope it never comes, but we have to be prepared for it if it does. How are you going to ensure that our structure in the Pacific, we've heard about our allies from obviously Australia, which is probably our more stalwart in the South Pacific, all the way up to South Korea and Japan, which are undergoing political changes right now. They have internal political, I'd say, earthquakes happening as far as what their foreign policy identity is going to be. How are you going to ensure that we are still interlocking with their armed forces in a way that our alliance will be strong when the conflict comes?
Senator, thank you for the question. Since joining the department in January of this year, I've had multiple opportunities to do engagements with counterparts from Australia, Japan, Korea, Philippines. I accompanied Secretary Hegseth in his trips to the region as he conducted his engagements. I fully understand and appreciate how important those relationships are, how vital those alliances are to what we're trying to do in the Indo-Pacific to strengthen our posture and bolster our collective defense. So if confirmed, Senator, I'll do everything I can to continue to advance those relationships and make sure that they serve American interests.
Important to keep in mind that the only scenario in which we have rough vessel-to-vessel parity with China is when all of our allies are included. And we're not going to be able to close that vessel gap quick enough, so we're going to need them. And we can't build alliances after we need them. We have to have them beforehand. Mr. Young with the Army, thanks for your comments on the strikes. My distinguished partner, Senator King, I appreciate his questions, but when we have a boat heading towards our nation with enough fentanyl on board to kill hundreds of thousands of Americans, I see that as no different than taking out a terrorist cell overseas that is plotting to attack us with airliners flying into skyscrapers. So how are you going to continue to defend our ability to project our kinetic strike capability to strike these foreign terrorist organizations that have killed more Americans than every war in our history combined?
Senator, I think the key to that is excellent drone technology and being able to field it immediately and quickly in manners and in ways that have not historically been utilized before. To that end, we are working, the Secretary of the Army has been designated by the Department of Defense as the executive agent for drone warfare and counter-UAS. And we are working very carefully and quickly to try and innovate the acquisition cycle, because as you can tell from looking at the Ukraine conflict, that drone warfare, drone technology has not only an impact on the individual soldier, but also on the strategic aspect of the projection of power. So that to us is the key ability to continue to project force across the world. So.
Well, and like Mr. Lane, you're going to have a huge ball of wine to untangle here regarding attacking the acquisition system. I know that the Secretary of the Army is on this very aggressively, but untangling the acquisition system so we can get quantity and iteration into the acquisition system quickly. Mr. Beck, I'm out of time, but we got a lot of work to do to modernize the nuclear portfolio, so good luck.
Thank you.